I hope you liked sequels, and if you're watching Twisted Metal 2, there's a good chance you do. But this time, our vehicle is a sequel. We're driving Outlaw 2. In the first game, Outlaw was banished to outer space for daring to ask that the Twisted Metal competition end. Jamie Roberts is the sister of that banished driver. She wants to deal with that insult to her family in as rude and violent a way as possible. Should be fun. And we'll be taking her well outside of LAPD jurisdiction, all the way to Holland, which is going to have the most enemies of any level in any Twisted Metal game, 9 opponents. They probably all thought they were going to Amsterdam, but that is distinctly not the case. This battleground is a big old field. That's all. Only points of interest are the windmills. Even they don't have much going on. They've got pickups inside though, so we're gonna want to go get those. I've developed this ingenious method of going in and then backing directly out. Doesn't seem like rocket science, but my first instinct was always to turn around inside the windmill and exit that way, which, due to the controls of this game, requires like a 100-point turn. It takes forever. For a long time I just avoided even trying to get that pickup. Because when you're at a full stop, the game can't really decide if you're moving forwards or backwards. And if you are moving backwards, it reverses your controls, which is kinda standard for driving games. But in this case, since it can't decide which way to turn you, you'll just sometimes turn against the direction you're trying to go. And if an enemy gets in there with you, you're in a lot of trouble. You'll have even less turning room, and they'll be shooting you non-stop. So you could very easily just die before you even get out of there. And there's another problem with spending too much time inside the windmill, but we'll see that in action before too long. I'm just glad I was able to take that teleporter up to the top half of the windmill and get the pickups inside while I still have the chance. Because that flash of lightning means it's too late. The windmill has been destroyed. It only takes a missile or two to take the thing out for good. And if you're anywhere near it, the 9 enemy vehicles are definitely going to hit it in the crossfire. If you're in the windmill yourself, all homing attacks will head right for it, and it is almost certainly doomed. And we're back to the sorts of destructibles that we had in the first half of the game, where once they're gone, the level becomes significantly harder, since there are only way to escape and hide from enemy aggression. And also because the pickups that were in the upper level are gone forever. The ones on the bottom level will still respawn, but it's just a power missile pickup there. It's a bigger deal with this second windmill, because that has our full health in it. Once that's gone, healing will be a lot harder, and hiding will be impossible. So let's just grab it while we have the chance. Bit of a waste, but better than letting the whole thing go to waste. Now I'm just gonna kinda avoid this half of the map, so that the windmill may live a little longer. It's pointless either way. Either it gets destroyed, and I can't use it, or I just intentionally avoid using it. Guess it's better to have the option. That's what I was probably thinking when I played this. This is right around where the music loops, which is always super noticeable because every track starts and ends in silence. So the music doesn't truly loop, just ends. For some weird reason, this level was my best remembered in all of Twisted Metal 2. Just for years, every time I thought of this game, it conjured an image of Mr. Grimm driving through a cornfield. And I was excited upon revisit to figure out why I found this level so memorable. Turns out it's just because I'm really boring. This is not a good level in any way. In fact, I am pretty much out of stuff to talk about here. Let's see, Calypso's face sure healed up pretty nice in the year since the last competition. It had been at least a decade with his face charred to a crisp. Then a year later, there are times when you can't even tell it was ever burned in the first place. Good for him, I suppose. Oh, there goes my second windmill. Too beautiful for this world. Guess it was bound to happen, with most of the enemies piled up down here and inside the husk of the windmill. Right here, Mr. Grimm just got killed by Shadow's Special, which I was only able to determine forensically by going back through this video frame by frame and watching the minimap the whole time. I'll take any stroke of luck like that I can get. I beat this level on my very first practice attempt, and then when I tried recording it, I died like a million times in a row. It was horrible. This cornfield area is best avoided, because smaller enemies can hide underneath the tall grass like velociraptors. You can't get a beat on them, and they can sneak up on you pretty easily. Twister is also best avoided. In fact, I think she has only appeared in one previous level as an enemy, because every time she does show up as a random opponent, I lose that battle, or at the very least get caught in her special for a really long time, and it makes for a bad recording that I end up scrapping. She will just chain you in her tornado for a very long time, and it sucks. You just gotta stay the hell away from her. The only thing that I haven't really talked about yet is Outlaw 2's special, which is the taser from the first game, but now it's called the Omni Taser. The only significant difference is that it now hits twice. First when it connects with an enemy, and then again when it disconnects with them. And I think it's possible to outrun the second hit if you drive away really, really fast, but that never really happens. So AI opponents pretty much always get hit twice with the thing, giving it actually appreciable damage, when in the first game it just did nothing. And it's pretty good for hitting these fast enemies that remain. You just gotta strafe by them and time the firing pretty well. And you'll take him out. She was at yellow health when I hit her, so acceptable damage on that thing. Spectre's the only one left, and he's not left anymore. It sorta came down to the wire there. Those two could have got the better of me, and it is pretty hard to get pickups towards the end, because they've all been picked up. So actually getting a weapon for the final killing blow is sometimes the hardest part of the level. With that accomplished, it's time to go see Calypso and avenge Carl Roberts.
Captain Roberts stepped out of the car and stood before me.
Last year, my brother won your contest, and you tricked him. You twisted his words and sent him spiraling into outer space. Now is my chance to save him. I am the winner, and as my prize, I demand that you let me see my brother.
I will be glad to grant your wish, my dear. I will let you see your brother.
No, wait! What I meant to say was...
But it was too late. Her wish had been granted.
Hey, sis! I'm over here!
Oh my God, Buzz, I found you! I can't believe it, I found you!
Guess Calypso tricked you too, huh, sis? Now we're both stuck out here.
I don't think so. I've made some modifications to my patrol car. I planned on Calypso's little trick. These rocket boosters will carry us back. Next year, we'll enter Twisted Metal again and get our ultimate revenge on that burnt-faced freak.
Not all sequels can be as good as Twisted Metal 2. Outlaw 2 had the whole competition to plan the wording of her wish and still fumbled the delivery. But she planned for that exact contingency by making her car into a spaceship, so that she could rescue her brother. He was doing pretty good for a guy who spent a year in space without any food or oxygen. He even had a chance to change his name to Buzz. Now it looks like both the Roberts siblings are headed back to Earth for round 3 with Calypso. I sincerely wish them the best of luck. Enough of the Outlaws for now. We're turning to the final vehicle that I won't be playing in this LP. That'd be Spectre. In the first game, it was driven by a ghost who shared a name with the Twisted Metal series producer Scott Campbell. In the text version of the ending, he came back to life and lived happily ever after, And in the video version, he came back to life and died again immediately. Either way, he retired from the competition, so now Spectre is driven by Ken Masters. Ken has a simple dream. He just wants to be famous. I'm pretty sure even the thumbnail for his ending video spoils how that turns out. But I'll leave that behind for you, and see you next time for the final level of Twisted Metal 2.